Thanks for tuning in to Q Points. Before you take in this show, we want to acknowledge that neither DJ Sir Daniel or J Ray support Khia's transphobic and homophobic comments that she's made over the course of her career in any way, shape, or form. As members of the LGBTQIA plus community, we condemn any statements of hatred against our and any community. This show is meant as an examination of Khia's musical output and nothing more. Stuff can be two things. Khia can make transphobic and homophobic statements and still make bops at the same time. Enjoy the show.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of Q Points Podcast. I am DJ Sir Daniel.
And my name is J Ray, sometimes known by my government as Johnny Ray Cornegay III. What's happening, people?
Welcome back to another. This is going to be a wild one, but welcome back to another.
It's a wild card here.
Another episode of Q Points Podcast, dropping the needle on Black music history. The subject of this episode represents Florida a lot, even though she's from Philadelphia.
She lived in Philly until she was like 10 or 11 or something.
Yeah, and then of course, is gracing the South. We're talking about none other than Khia.
Yes.
Khia, Miss Roasts and Gags herself, formerly one half of the Queen's Court, but most importantly, the queen of do-it-yourself hip-hop.
Yes.
And that is why we are talking about Khia. We had our disclaimer at the very beginning of the show. We know Khia, we get it. We know Khia traffics in homophobia and transphobia and making very gross comments about people from the community. And we understand that. We're not riding with her with respect to that. But as an artist, and strictly from an artist standpoint, there's something to be said about Khia and her stick-to-itiveness and her ingenuity and just her all-around wit to have been able to survive in this industry for 20 plus years. So so she's done something right, and things are still happening for her, and we're going to get into that. But I think it must be said that Khia has been ahead of the curve as far as this truth-telling trend that we're in now. Because just last episode, we were talking about Cat Williams and his appearance on the Shay Shay Club Shay Shay podcast with Shannon Sharp. And so Khia, in her own way, is a trendsetter with the truth telling as it is. Am I stretching? Am I going too far, J Ray, or how you feel?
I don't think you are going too far. I think from a women in hip hop perspective, I do think I agree with you, because Khia has not kind of gone along to get along,
right,
as a rapper, right? So we're going to talk about some of those moments in Khia history where it's just like, I didn't see it. I don't even know why she did that, or I didn't see it coming, but it's always been very clear that she is her part of her own agenda. To that point, Sir Daniel, I think one of the other reasons why I think it's really important to lift Khia up as we honor hip hop at 50, as that DIY queen, as that you mentioned earlier, Sir Daniel, is there are very few women in music, period, in particular in hip hop, that run the whole thing. Like Kaya produces, there are like several albums in Kaya's catalog that Kaya is the producer of those records, right? Starting with her second record, where she's like credited as the producer of the album. That is really rare, where you get a woman who is kind of running the whole ship. Now you might talk about the variety of that ship. That's an
Mhm.
argument that can be made, but even on each of those albums, there's bops. You know what I'm saying? She never stops delivering something.
It's undeniable, and it harkens back to conversations we've had regarding another one of our quote unquote problematic faves, Azalea Banks.
Yep.
And to your point again, this genre of hip hop is very much, when it comes to women in the genre of rap music and being in hip hop culture, your whole career is typically in the hands of men, or a man, somebody who is already seated and seasoned in the game, somebody who has their own reputation, and you are allegedly riding on their coattails in order for you to get your spot. They sometimes, at most times, have their own agenda for your career. Like a lot of women in hip hop have been positioned. They didn't even come up with their own monikers or positions. They would say, okay, this is what I want you to represent on these tracks, and this is who your persona is going to be. And to Azealia, to Kaya, their credit, that was not the case when they stepped into the game. They came into the game with a very clear point of view, um, unafraid to criticize
Mhm.
and critique their peers, which is unheard of. Well, not unheard of, but it gets very sticky and gets very tricky, because along with um, rap music comes a lot of politics, and
Mhm.
who, you talk about this person, then you're not going to get opportunities to be a part of these events because you've talked about my artist. I'm
Yeah.
investing this much money in this event. We don't want you anywhere near my artist, so you are blackballed from this particular arena. And that is something that Kaya has faced from the very beginning, whether it's from shows to her being on radio,
Yeah.
especially here in Atlanta, which, she is a very strong following here in Atlanta. And I distinctly remember her, the day she got into it, or it was a broadcast feud between her and legendary radio personality Portia Fox, rocking the box, back in the day on V103. They got into it on the air, and it made a lot of noise, and it was fun. But those are the types of things that Kaya had to deal with stepping into the game, being herself completely.
Mhm.
Because again, you have to get along, you have to go along to get along. A lot of times you have to change who you are in order to get somewhere in this industry.
Mm. So as we think about Kaya and her entry point into the industry, um, and it's interesting. As we were getting ready for the show, Sir Daniel and I were talking about kind of the comparison today to like Sexy Red, but there's like a long line of Black women in music that Kaya is not an anomaly, right? She sits
Exactly.
in, there. If there was not a Millie Jackson, there would not be a Kaya, right? You know what I'm
Thank
saying? This brash, quote unquote loud, I'm not gonna take no shit from nobody kind of woman, right?
you. Hmm.
Kaya showed up like that. Like at the
Yeah.
beginning, that's a rare thing, like to show up, because what we've seen, I think, in history, for the most part, is that artists become that person, right? Like after you've been in the machine and you've made a choice to do something else, you then kind of are like, no, I'm not going to do any of that. The wall's coming down. I'm going to be who I am, right?
Hmm.
Kaya showed up like that. And I think what was interesting is not only did she show up fully embracing who she was, her subject matter was like unapologetically sexual in a way that was like, you can't play this around your mom. Like, this is
Mm-mm.
not, although so many people from my mom's generation are probably like, that's a bop. Like, my neck, my back is like a universal bop at this point.
Absolutely.
But I
Totally.
remember when I first heard it being like, oh, I like this though, but oh my, that's something.
Absolutely, because it's so fun. Okay, funny you should bring up two things. You brought up the first time you heard My Neck, My Back. I was working at HMV record store when the record broke. And the reason why I found out about it is because all these white kids mostly started coming into the record store asking us, "Hey, do you have that song she's talking about all you ladies pop yo like this?" And I was like, "Excuse me? What is?" Those kids have been watching a network of I believe it was NBC or ABC, a network television show featuring Jessica Alba called Dark Angel. If
Mhm.
y'all remember that show, that song was a part of that TV show. That's how, imagine your first major hit coming off the heels of appearing a placement on a nationally broadcast television show with a emerging superstar in prime time. And so that was an anomaly of itself. I don't know how that. I would love to hear from her how that worked out, how she got that look. But another thing, so you brought up the fact that Khia comes from a long list of women, specifically black women, with this very brash
Mhm.
but funny and sexual persona that comes along with their music. I think we need to address the elephant in the room that prior to Kaya, we had Little Kim, we had
Mhm.
Foxy. We even had, at this point, we even had Trina. Trina is
Mhm.
bubbling on the scene, right? All unapologetically sexy, talking that ish on their records, and we love it. Here comes Kaya, and she's not received the same way. And let's, in the words of Viola,
Let's
let's call a thing,
let's call
people.
a
Let's
thing a
call a thing
thing.
a thing.
It's the same thing that's
Kai,
happening with Sexy Red right now. Let's call a thing a thing.
she is not. She was not conventionally and accepted for her looks. She was not conventionally or industry standards of beauty.
Yep.
And the same thing is happening now with Sexy Red, even though we're uh, in a different place now, I think, with how people are received physically, because
Mhm.
we're seeing a lot of different shapes, sizes, and shades of blackness that are being accepted in the mainstream. But Kaya definitely came through. Um, she had locks. She
Mhm.
well, she no at that point she was had baby locks at the
Baby
very
locks. Yep.
beginning, and she was growing that out. She had natural hair. She was brown skinned. She didn't really. I don't know if she wore a lot of. Well, she wore makeup in the video when the video came out, but she was also rocking a lot of turbans.
Mhm.
And so, conventionally, Kaya was not what people. If you have a standard set by a Lil Kim, a
Mhm.
Janet Jackson, all these people that we idolize, for their physicality and for their beauty, if you come in the game looking a certain way and you don't acquiesce to that and you don't um, match up to that in any way, shape, or form, then immediately people are going to, one, either not pay attention to you, or two, pay attention and then hit you with the "you have the nerve, how dare you talk to us, how dare your music sound like that, because we like it, but why do you look like that?" I think that's part of the backlash that she experienced.
Sir Daniel, this leads, you are absolutely correct. I think that, and not only that, so I want to definitely build on that for a second, because not only did it take a lot for her to just be who she was, see, she didn't try to change it.
Ever
right?
Nova.
She didn't try to change it because you know what happens in the industry. We see it all the time where it's like, oh my God, that person is this. But if you were a little more, if you did a little this, if you did a nip, if you did a tuck, if you did a little more this, it would like fit. And it was like, no, I'm going to be who I am. Here's where I remember really feeling like, oh, she's just going to kind of do whatever. And that was the Miss Rap Supreme moment. One, I
Yes.
was really, I was surprised to
We
see
all
Khia
were.
on Miss Rap Supreme. I was like, she's like a, she's like a known artist. I don't know why Kaya's here, but then I realized like one, she's good TV. And two,
Mhm.
there were people who just didn't know who she was. She was kind of regional, even though she'd had a national hit. People didn't really, this was before the internet. Like, let me say it differently, before social media, where you kind
Facts.
of really knew what people looked like. So she had this national hit, but she was really kind of a regional artist, really baked in the South. You're now on this national platform. And so I remember being surprised because I knew who Khia was. I'm like, I don't know that she
Yeah.
fits on here, but whatever. And then the moment she got kicked off,
Eliminate. Uh-huh.
eliminated from the show, right? And then and she did Respect Me, and the thing was, her second album had already come out, so I had already heard that song. Like, so when she
Mhm.
did the verse, I was like, you can't do this. Like, this is a verse from your song that's already out. Like, the album's
Mhm.
out. And then, of course, it became like a big thing where it was like we had to deliberate. Because at first it was like, oh, that's kind of hot. But then it was like, now we had to deliberate and we learned that that was already out. I'm assuming they was playing it up for TV. My
Mhm.
point was, I was like, oh, this woman is committed. She's going to do what she's going to do.
Yes.
Um, and can I do a slight rewind? Because I just thought about this, Sir Daniel. Now in social media, you, the smart ones, capitalize on negativity. Remember when all of them Khia mugshots came out and people was
Oh yeah.
dragging her? When
Yep.
that showed up as the cover of her second album, I thought that was genius. I was like, I I don't know. That woman's smart.
Oh, big time. She figured it out from the very beginning. And she said, "Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I am going to do the exact opposite of what you're going to want me to do, and you're going to still pay attention to me.
Yep.
You are still going, I'm going to create my own narrative. Yep, I got a gazillion mug shots. I've been stunting out here in these streets and doing all kinds of foolishness, and I got a mug shots for each story, and that's going to be my album cover." She figured out very quickly that controversy, or she's a student. I'm sure
Mhm.
she's a student of the game and figured out that controversy sells and people will may not like you, but they can't stop talking about you. And you, in fact, do take up some real estate in their brains. And she absolutely, to this day, we're still talking. That's like 15 years later, we're still talking about that episode of RESPE Respect Me, RESPE Respect Me. And it was just I think back on it fondly. Like, that takes a lot of guts. That
Yeah.
takes a lot of chutzpah to stand there in front of MC Search and Yo Yo and to be like, "Huh, I don't get, forget what y'all are asking me to do. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to make a lasting impression. I might get eliminated, but you will never forget me." And 15 years later, here we are. We're still talking about Khia and the imprint that she has made on this world.
You know, and not in addition to that, it's the strategic picking of Respect Me as here is how I am going to stand on this stage. So when Khia says with the gavel, I've been carrying myself like a queen for the last 25 years, right? It's like, I mean, she's not lying. She has been, I'm like, she's not lying. She's literally been standing up there and demanding that you respect her. Now, it's a whole lot that comes with that we're going to talk about a little bit later that I think gets in the way of folks doing that. But I think it is important to have that kind of, when you are going to be an independent artist, like you have to have that kind of like, I'm going to get this done and I am going to demand you at any level respect who I am.
Absolutely. And so we got to talk about, I'm just thinking about like, okay, so recently I think the whole, she did a Queen's Court on the whole people comparing her to Sexy Red or comparing Sexy Red to her. And she did not take that kindly. And she gave the list of reasons. And again, it's like, when you listen to what she was saying, it was like, she's actually making sense. Because again, to our earlier point, Khia has held the reins of her career from sonically to her image, everything. She's done that. And whatever she's put out, she put it out. She's not living, she's a mother.
Her daughter looks just like her, by the way.
She's got grown kids, and so she's not out there. She doesn't want people to get it twisted.
Right.
Like, oh no. Y'all can't compare me to that because I first of all, I've got way too much time in the game. I've invested in myself. I know myself. I'm not being used and creating any personas. This is me. Whereas I don't know this young lady. I don't know what she's doing. She's, and a lot of people feel like these young people are plants in the industry. That's a term that's being thrown around, industry plants. And she's very clear in saying that this is not that. And I commend her for that. I was like, okay, yeah, again, we may not like the way she gives us the medicine, but she's not lying. I think that's the ongoing thread that we have a lot in a lot of our Khia conversations, is that she ain't lying. We may not like the way she said it, but she's not lying.
Right. And I mean, and I think and this is the hard part, I think, about having these conversations about Khia. Yes, we already acknowledged the one hard part, right? Like there's just a lot of muck that comes with the homophobia and the transphobia and like all this. There's some anti-blackness in there. All of that stuff. Yes. But that music be hitting though. So there are joints.
Talk about it.
We need to talk about it. So as me and Sir Daniel, the first time I think I noticed that Khia was cut different, and it was years later. So I have no idea why I was listening to Thug Misses, which was Khia's second record. I don't know. Here we go. I listened to it. That's how I knew what Respect Me was. I listened to Thug Misses, right? Which is not different. No, Thug Misses is the first record. The second record was something else. Whatever. The second album. So I don't know why I was listening to it. Point is, it was that third, that nasty music. One, she rapped that van. You know what I'm saying? Which
listen, if you live in Atlanta, you seen that van. It's on Peter Street. You seen the van all over Atlanta, all over Metro Atlanta. Shout out to her. She purchased that van and wrapped it and was like, this is my day-to-day vehicle. And you are going to see it and you're going to know. You can't knock the hustle, in the words of Jay-Z.
Can't knock it.
No, at all.
But it was that, for me, it was that Be Your Lady. So she did this kind of DIY video in a house. There was like 3 sets. It was like the kitchen, the living room, maybe a bedroom, right? It was probably Khia's house, right? She did this video and I was like, oh, this is interesting, right? It was like not complicated, but it was like, oh, I'm gonna do a music video for my song, right? I don't have no big budget. I'm gonna do this video and it's gonna be cute. And I was like, I respect that. You know, it's not, we were past the point. MTV had MTV and BET had basically already stopped playing videos by then. 106 in Park was never going to play a Khia song. And she made content for YouTube for her video, for her song. And that was so smart. So that's when I realized, I'm like, oh, she's cut different. Like, she's not afraid to do it herself to get it done.
There are two types of people in the world: those who complain about the state of today's music and those who dig. I'm Jason Randall Smith, and I invite you to check out Radio B-Sots, Both Sides of the Surface, a music podcast championing the work of independent artists from around the way to around the world. With a primary focus on Creative Commons licensed music, think of this show as a never-ending virtual crate dig through a parallel universe of online labels, seeking out the hip-hop, soul, jazz, funk, and electronic music gems that are often hiding in plain sight, and hopefully demystifying the world of Creative Commons along the way, one song at a time. You can find Radio B-Sots wherever you listen to podcasts. For more information, visit the website at bsots.com. That's BSOTS.com.
So the question then, J. Ray, and to the audience listener, what is your favorite Khia song? Because I know I got a matter of fact on my phone right now. I may have maybe two, three Khia songs on my phone now that I still write out to this day. But I have a number one Khia song, but I'm very interested to know, for those of you watching us live, drop it in the chat. What is your favorite Khia song? Because I know you got one. Don't act like you don't. But J. Ray, what is your favorite Khia song?
So this was actually interesting because I have several Khia songs that I like. But Steer is my Steer.
That's it.
That joint
That's
is that.
it.
That joint
I don't know.
goes.
I don't know if it's it's a 108 tempo. It's the double claps. It's very it for some it just sounds really good in the club. And I think I really began to love Steer when I played it for a couple. I played it at Bulldogs and I played it at Wet and ATL for the dancers. And I just seen the reaction. I started to get into it, and then she's a hook queen.
That's her magic. Book her for that.
she knows how to make a hook, and it's infectious. It's repetitious, but it feels good. It blends well with Set It Off, so you're already in the dance mode. And like what Khia also has done, has tapped into the line dancing element culture that has come back.
Yep.
It has come back over the past 10 or so years. People are very, very much into their line dances, whether you're a motorcycle line dancer or a cha-cha slide dancer. Black people love a line dance, and her songs fit right into that niche. And so she's able to a lot of her success, she's able to experience that success there. But Steer is my joint. I see a lot of neck and back, which is, y'all ain't really no Khia, music connoisseurs if you still talking about neck and back. Come to me with some real deep cuts. Now I'm just playing. But somebody on here, J. Ray, I gotta say this. Mark mentioned Janet Jackson's So Excited. We got to talk about that moment.
She's the best part. Now, that moment, I mean, honestly, okay, so I don't like So Excited. Sir Daniel knows this. I'm very clear. I'm on record as I don't like that song, right? However,
do you not like that song, or do you not like that era, that album?
Completely? That whole 20YO era is like a throw. It is like Dream Street to me. It can have never happened, right? So, but she's the best part of that song. Like, act bad, don't hurt me, look
that she talk dirty.
I went up for that.
It's so sad. J. Ray, are we birds? Are we hood rats? I think that's what it is. I
We
think she
hood
tapped.
rats.
I think Kaya awakens the inner bird in all of us, and I think we just have to be honest with ourselves. There's a hood rat gutter snipe in all of us that the music appeals to, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not just us. Like J Ray, we have to look at how many times Kaya has been sampled. I think
Yes.
that's a mark of a musician is how many times they've been sampled, and she sampled, and weirdly people try not to give her credit for it, which I think is bizarre. That part is bizarre to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a bunch of, and it's not just you would think that it's just women, but it's not. There's a bunch of dudes that adapt my neck, my back for stuff. It is crazy. Just go to whosampled.com and type in Kaya, and you will see all the people. There is a treasure trove of men that have sampled Kaya. You know what I'm saying?
And if they
So,
haven't sampled her, they use the line "my neck, my back."
yep.
Everybody uses that line, even though I think when I think back on it, since we're still talking about comedians, I think remember that my neck, my back, my neck and my back. That comedian that did that joke
Oh,
on Comic View.
yes.
There may be a connection there. I'm
Yeah.
pretty certain there's a connection there, but we neck and back is synonymous with Kaya. But yeah,
You
I think.
know,
Go ahead.
yeah, I think it's the sampling piece. I think is also one of the reasons why her longevity has been what it is. Because the reality is, and no, Kipper is in the chat and can really speak to this. Like, you writing a good bop that is like timeless. My neck,
Mhm.
my back is just a timeless bop. I have other bops from Kaya that I like, but if that was the only one, we'd still be talking about her,
We
right?
still be talking about it, and I think again back to the her cultural impact. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, line dancing is a cultural phenomenon that Black people, of course, as usual, we are at the helm of that trend. And the K Wang is a song that the smartest thing is that she created the instructions to it. There's
Right.
instructions to it where people are like, okay, I'm going to learn how to do this dance.
Yep.
And we absolutely love a dance. We love I've told you this theory, Jerry, as a DJ, line dances work because there's a moment where if you're at a party, if you're at a wedding, you're by yourself, there's a point where a line dance song is going to be played and you are going to be able to get out and on that floor and not have to wait for somebody to say, "May I have this dance?" You are going to be a part of the party once you are getting that 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, and shuffle to the left and shuffle to the right. Once you get into that, you're part of the party. You're part of the
Mhm.
experience, and you're no longer alone. The fact that you came by yourself is completely washed away. You're dancing with everybody and you're having a great time. And that's why those types of songs resonate with us so deeply. And so Kaya, once again, in all her brilliance and looking at what works, said, you know what? In the history of music, people love an instructional dance song. It might be
Mhm.
cheesy to some, but it still works. And you can put on K Wang at your mama's barbecue,
Yep.
at your auntie's baby shower, and the old folks are going to be clamoring to that dance floor to dance to get in line to do the K Wang. So again,
And
brilliant, high in her
and
brain.
yeah, and that brilliance translated because what, 2 years ago, 2022, I think it was, Kaya decided she did like a 20th anniversary. It might have been 2021, 20th anniversary of Thug Misses, but she did a video for K Wang. Now, here was the thing. People was trying to drag her. right? It was like, look at her out here doing this video for this 20-year-old song. I'm like, child, that is smart as all get out. Cause she knows K Wang is a joint that people dig.
Mm-hmm.
It never had a video before. I'm literally going to pull it out and do a video today and drop it. So then it puts it right back into the zeitgeist because now this 20-year-old song has a new music video from the artist that did it.
And a new life. Again, listen, kids. I'm taking the money that I've banked over the years because I'm still getting booked and I'm still getting residuals, and I'm reinvesting in myself and creating these videos and creating a new life for the song. And a new life for the song means it starts charting again. Y'all start streaming it. Y'all might book me here and there. Guess what? She's made that money back tenfold.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I don't know. Khia's playing chess, not checkers with y'all. And so, you know, a lot of people hate to see it, hate to agree with her, but you cannot knock that lady's business savvy. I think that's once you get away from quote unquote Khia getting in her way in the music industry, she really hasn't gotten in her way. She's really doing what she wants y'all to do. She's creating music and y'all are still buying it. I think the difference that we see is that 50 Cent can do the same thing. 50 Cent can get out there and create a fake trailer or a fake movie poster for a Life After Diddy documentary and claim that he's going to create a Diddy documentary, and he'll troll Ja Rule, he'll troll Fat Joe, he'll get into all these beefs, and we still love 50 Cent. You know, we still rock with 50 Cent. We watch his television shows. We do all of that. We don't disparage him as much. Khia does the same thing. She trolls the hell out of us. She has her fun. And people really take that to heart. And a lot more people just can't deal with it like how they would deal with a 50 Cent.
Absolutely agree. And you know, there are those times when I listen to the new single Body, which I really like.
Another classic.
It's another classic. It'll be, to your point, right back in the line dance genre. I think the video is solid. I think she looks good. All of those things, right? The woman is talented. So I listen to songs like Body, and then I'm like, oh, Khia, I just wish you would put the gavel down. But you know what? The reality is Khia is not going to do that because she is going to do her. And she's going and despite that, she's going to keep making joints.
So then, Ray, the question is, like I said at the beginning of this episode, we're in this season. People are saying this is the season of truth telling. We've got everybody coming out ready to, to drop all these bombs and reveal things that have happened with behind the scenes. In this season of truth telling, is there a way that Khia could present her brand of truth telling and still be Khia? Would people be more accepting, do you think? Or is it she's just damned if she does and damned if she doesn't?
You know what? I think if Khia left behind some of the really low insults and the homophobic and transphobic stuff that literally, like, these things just kind of get in the way. I think there is a way to tell the truth and be who you are and not hurt people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just speaking for me. I don't know for the people that Kai is talking about. Child, she's probably banging the gavel on me right now. I am, ma'am. I'm just saying, but
Bam, bam, bam,
bam,
bam,
bam,
bam.
bam, right. I'm just thinking that there is a way to do it and get more looks with if all of the stuff that hurt folks was kind of left out. Right, because it doesn't
Yeah,
add anything to the discussion, it just makes people angry. And sometimes we need to be angry, but most of that stuff you be talking about, child, we don't need a whole bunch of foolishness about that. So
yeah.
yeah, what about you? Do you think there's a way that she could do it and still be heard?
I just think that in this stage of the game, it may not even be worth it. It may just be a thing that we're now expecting of her. Um, I do wonder, and I would wonder if she feels like she's not given an opportunity
Mm.
to speak. I mean, she takes her own opportunities and she uses her platforms to do it in her own way. But I think it has to be said that she talks mostly about her fan base because her fan base is largely made up of the gay community and the trans community. Her songs are performed by drag
Mhm.
queens.
Yes.
Again, DJs, you drop that. You could drop a Khia song in the gay club now, and the kids will still bop to it. So it's a really weird relationship, and I would love, you know, persona aside, just to to hear her side, she's even got people from the community in her camp. you
Yeah.
know she's always had, as she likes to say, surrounded herself with punks.
Mhm.
She's got people on her team from the community. And I don't know, it's like we said, it's just a very curious case. Kaya is a very curious person, and I think that's part of her allure and part of what and she knows that. And again, she's been always been two steps ahead of us and knows that, and is not trying to ruin that because she knows it works for her. So I don't
Mm.
know, until the day comes when we are sitting across from Kaya and we get to have a heartfelt conversation with her, where there's no gavels. She's
Mhm.
ready to have her Oprah moment.
Yeah.
Where she's ready to have the soft lighting. We'll smear a little bit of mayonnaise on the screen, and just she'll wear something very soft and demure, and we can have that heart to heart moment with her to get her to just address that, to find out the root of the brashness, the root
Right.
of where the hurt comes from, those types of things, because clearly there is some hurt behind a lot of the comments and a lot of the discourse that she participates in. So, but as far as this episode is concerned, listeners, this is just J Ray and I. This has been one conversation that we've had
Yes.
all the time, is about, God damn, that damn Kaya. Man, she is so it's so weird. We love the hell out of her artistry and want to love her. I think that's the frustrating part, is we love the artistry and we also want to love her. I think we want to, divify her, yassify her as well. But
Right.
she's definitely not. I don't think she's not interested. I don't think she's interested in it, and that's okay. I
Mm.
think that's okay. I think she's very much in the place of, I want to separate myself. When this all said and done, I would have stood on my own two, in 10 toes down, standing on business,
Mhm.
being Kaya in this game called the rap game.
Mm. I think you're absolutely right. I think you are absolutely correct. You know what? We can Khia is definitely one of those artists where I'd have to separate, art from the person. Right. I don't do a well, I can
Mhm.
do that with her. There are some people where I'm like, no, like R. Kelly, your art is who you are. So I'm just gonna take you out of the mix.
Right.
I still want to listen to Body by Khia, and I'm gonna be okay with that. And also take her to task on the low blows, as Mark mentioned in the chat, and also mentioning, of course, Azalea, right?
Mhm.
So listen, I'm happy we gave Khia some love, because in Hip Hop 50, I ain't hear nobody. Maybe her name was mentioned. I ain't hear it.
I did see her name on the at the LL's tour, the what was it
Mhm.
called? The Hip Hop Force tour.
Mhm.
And part of the stage design is a marquee that has the name scrolling of every hip hop artist that ever existed, and I did catch Kaya's name up there. So there's
Perfect.
that. So yes,
Perfect. So yeah,
we got it out of our system, J. Ray. We were just
we
like,
talked about
we
Khia.
talked about Kaya. Whew. Okay, good. And it wasn't a bashing session either. We really just we're so curious about her, and we know you are too, listeners. So you get to live vicariously through us. We'll talk out loud for you. I know some
Yes.
people don't want to admit that they're Kaya fans. We'll admit it, but there's a lot that comes along, a lot of conflict that comes along with being a Kaya fan. And again, two things can be true at the same time. And so yeah, J Ray, let's let the people know how they can keep up in contact with Q Points and subscribe to these dope ass newsletters that you and I are putting
Yeah.
out, man.
Yo, so by the way, one of the things we need to accompanying this show, we definitely need to include our favorite, because we talked about a couple of me and Sir Daniel have the same favorite, but there's other joints by Khia that we love. So we need to get our playlist together of our Khia joints and make sure that that's in the newsletter. But first and foremost, thank y'all so much for hanging out with us. There are folks joining us on multiple platforms. Please let us know in the chat where you are joining us from. This is the way to support Q Points. It's the best thing you can do, y'all. It is listening, watching, subscribing, and doing us one better, sharing the show with your friends. It's all free, okay? We are here dropping the needle on Black music history, like really having these conversations about these artists that impact the culture. So thank y'all so much. We see Carlton in the chat. Shout out to Carlton. Hey, Tony. Carlton is in Chicago, by the way. And then Carlton, we got Mark in Columbus.
Watching
Yo,
on YouTube.
watching on YouTube. We got Facebook. Tony's in ATL. This is outstanding. This is the work. So thank y'all for doing this. That's one thing that you can do. The second thing that you can do, like DJ Sir Daniel said, you can get so much more on our magazine. We have an entire digital publication. It is called Q Points Mag. If you go to magazine.qpoints.com, we getting looks from people over on Q Points Mag. We so proud of ourselves for like getting looks on our stuff, but we're having conversations, right, about the work that we do. So if y'all go over there and check that out, see what we're doing. You can subscribe for free. That's another free thing. The other thing you can do if you want to support the show is buy merch. Go to our store. The store link is right there. So wherever you go on Q Points, there's a store link. We have new gear coming by the end of the month. We cannot wait to announce it. So stay tuned. And we'll also get our subscriptions back up and running. We're retooling some stuff on the back end. But main thing, listen, watch, subscribe, share. Free. That's what y'all can do to stay connected and keep us going here at Q Points.
And on that note, J Ray, what do I always say in this life? You have a choice. You can either pick up the needle or you can let the Kaya record play. I am DJ Sir Daniel.
I'm J Ray, y'all.
This is Q Points Podcast, dropping the needle on Black music history. We will see you on the next go round. Peace.
Peace.